Come and listen to this tale about a dude named Ted, standing there just looking at the tools in his shed. And then he got to thinking, just looking ain't no fun. Let's pick one up and plug it in and see if it'll run. It did. Pretty good, too. Now old Ted's a happy guy 'cause he's got a pretty wife. Figures if he plays it right, he'll keep that gal for life. That gal, her name is Beverly, and he's her hillbilly. He's sweet on her, she's sweet on him, they're happy as could be. She's Beverly, he's Hillbilly, he's Beverly's Hillbilly.
Okay, so I'm out in my workshop again, and I'm trying to make a two-way slider for this. This is to become a roller so that I can make little rolled fenders for toy cars and trucks. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to make here, just getting ready to try to weld this. I've drilled a hole in here. Is that focusing? Anyway, come on. It's very 3D-ish. Anyway, I drilled a hole in here and just underneath this clamp. The idea is I'm going to put a spot of weld in that hole and then maybe a bit on the underside here so that a piece like this can slide in there. And then I'm going to make one that works exactly the opposite way on the other side so that when I put everything together, the third roller will be adjustable in and out and up and down so that I can adjust the tightness of the roll that I make. So I don't know, I don't think I'm going to try to show you me welding, because me welding is a disaster. Right there you can see some examples of how just how bad it is. Anyway, I ground that back off again and got that smoothed back up. I put the hole here a little closer to the outside edge than the inside edge. I tried to center it on this one, but I didn't on this one. I moved it back so that it wouldn't affect the inside slider surface. Anyway, I'm going to try to weld it and we'll get back after a couple of fault starts. Now I've got to cut that edge off and smooth it down so that the top plates can go on before the slider can go in. I have to manufacture the slider yet. Okay, so this is how good that worked. There's my fancy welds, and I started to clean it up, and apparently I need bigger holes. You can see that the weld was just starting to get down through there, but it wasn't hot enough to make a good impression into the other metal that it's supposed to attach to here. So I think what I'm going to do, I'll go back over to drill press and open those holes back up again, and I think I'm going to take my angle grinder with the cutoff bit and I'm going to cut that back here and here, and the same on this hole. Cut it back so that it's kind of an open triangle, and then weld it together again. Either that or I'll just make new pieces. I might do that. Those are getting kind of messed up. Anyway, man, you can see right through that one. That's how good a job I did. Where's the... there it is. Yeah, that's a good one. Anyway, there might be enough left of this one that I can reuse it. Again, the same deal though. I started to clean things up, and lo and behold, I didn't get enough weld in the hole because I guess the holes are too small, and it's pretty hard to see because you just get started and the hole's already full by the time you can get to see what you're doing, even through my auto darkening helmet. So I think I'm going to triangle them out and give it another shot, see if it works. And once again, you don't need to see my grand welding technique. Well, by golly, Wally, it's ugly, but I think it's gobbed on there. It doesn't move now. I might just have to try it again for there, and then flip it over and turn them the other way and try it again. Anyway, I won't bore you with all those details. I'll just try again. So, at this point, I need not remind anyone who is a welder that I am not. But I think that beast is gobbed on there, both of them. And when I say gobbed on, I guess I do mean gobbed on. I had some spatter to clean up and some nasty voids. But you know what? It doesn't have to hold a whole lot. All it's got to do is just keep a little slider in there from moving too much. So, and I might get better if I keep practicing. So I just wanted to show you some of the progress on my slider units for the little roller machine that I want to make. And here it is. I've made two of them. You can see that they aren't pretty. My welding skills are exceedingly lacking, but for what I need it to do, I believe it will work very nicely. This piece here, I'm not showing you with it sitting the way it will. This will sit on top of a piece of wood that will be fastened to this unit back in this area, and it will be fastened to a post, basically, that this will fasten to, so that when this screw is turned, this part will slide back and forth, because this part right here will be then stationary. To get my up and down motion, this part will be refined. It'll have a hole drilled in here that will accept another roller, which I haven't taken apart yet. And then I'm going to drill a hole in here, which I will thread to accept a 1/4 inch bolt, just like this here. And its purpose will be moving this piece up and down like this. So now I'll have motion this way and this way with the entire piece, and up and down, so that I can this piece, I guess, would go on this end. And here I have two rollers. This piece that sticks out here will have a crank handle put onto it, and this piece will be up here. This will be up here. I don't know if you can visualize all of this or not. It's all in my head, I promise. Anyway, so it can move in and out. I may have to make some adjustments on this so that I can get it in closer. Well, it depends. Anyway, and of course I'll probably wind up cutting this off so that it doesn't protrude as far. At that rate, it might be able to come in like so. But then the idea is that when you turn this roller, you force a piece of sheet metal through between those, and it encounters the second or the third roller back here, which makes it turn up, and the edge of this roller makes a nice curve on it that's controlled. Anyway, that's the hope. I thought I should maybe try showing how that will work. It ain't pretty, but I made two, one for each side, so they'll sit kind of like that with a roller between them, and they'll be infinitely adjustable in and out and up and down. Clear as mud? Well, hopefully when I get some more work done on it. Maybe if it's not too cold out here. It's not very warm out in my shop, and it is January, and I don't know if you can see out there, that's my yard through my shop window, my nice Hillbilly gazebo, the garden shed, and the ice and snow. And we really haven't got much snow yet this winter, but it ain't summertime, and I am a boy for the summer. Anyway, okay, I'll show you what I'm doing here. I don't know if you can see it or not. Well, yeah, you can. Good. So I've used a red Sharpie, and I've just colored in this area between this edge here, which is parallel with the inside, and where the angle starts to roll over, which would make it hard to drill and tap. And I've marked it, and I've marked this one the same way, so that I can use just a regular awl to mark where I want the center to be, and then center punch it, and then I will drill it. I'm not real good with all the sizes that you need, but anyway, I'm going to drill it small enough that I can thread it for a 1/4-20 bolt. Okay, so I've used my best guesser, by golly, and put a little cross mark. I don't know if you can actually see that or not. There you go, you can see it there now. So I'm going to center punch that, and then I'm going to set up in the drill press and drill them. Here we are. I've taken those two pieces out and I've put them in my my drill press vise. I put one in each side. I'm hoping that they're close enough to the same size that when I try to drill them, they don't slide. The reason I put one on each side instead of just doing one at a time is that it's very hard for me to get my finger in there. I guess I could, to hold just one of them in the center, and I don't want to camp the jaw of the vise because it does swivel a little bit to manage stock that's not perfect, as these are not perfect. Anyway, so that's the reason I did that. Now, going over here to my drill index, which you can see is missing a few, the nominal size of the bolt is 1/4 inch. And so, assuming that there's approximately a 32nd of an inch depth in the screw cut, I'm going to go down and use a 7/32, because that would be a 32nd of an inch smaller than a 1/4. And I know that there are those out there who know exactly what size I should use, and if this isn't right, then that's the best I can do. This is, after all, a Hillbilly workshop. And anyway, and I can go online and look it up and find out too, but you know, I don't have the numbered drills. All I've got is just the SAE drills, and that's what I like to use, and that's what I've got to use. And there will be those that say, you know, the thickness of that piece of metal is not enough to give any real strength to the thread that's going to be cut into it. And again, my answer to that is well, it really doesn't have to carry very much. And you know what, if it doesn't work, I'll just take a nut and I will weld it on the top, and it'll work just fine. again, it is a Hillbilly workshop. So I'm going to put this drill bit in here, working with one hand, camera in the other hand, and oops, of course you turned it the wrong way, didn't you? Anyway, I'm going to put the drill bit in there. I'm going to drill those holes, and then I'll come back with the tap. All right. All right. Okay, so I adjusted the drill in the chuck. I tightened it with my chuck key. This is something that my father did. He just took a little piece of copper wire, attached it to, I don't know if you can see that, to a chain, one of those ball chains, and it's always handy. It's tied right to the back of the machine, and you can get in there and tighten things up. At any rate, we're going to see if we can drill a hole in this or not. This is the 7/32 drill. Slow and steady does it, right? Don't burn your drills up, and you don't win any races either, but slow and steady is the way. Use less pressure, it's less likely to push things out of alignment too. That one's not perfectly aligned, but for what we're doing it'll be okay. Poke through very nicely. Okay, I'm going to grab my taps, if I can figure out where they are. Of course, you know, I just moved them because where they were wasn't working, and now I got to remember where I put them. And generally my forgetter works pretty good, but today I managed to find it. And I'm working off camera here, just trying to find the right tap. And I'm looking for there it is right there. I don't know. Will it focus on that? Where is it? It won't, will it? Maybe if I put my hand behind it. No, it's not gonna focus on it. Well, almost. And there it is. 1/4 20 national course. All right. Take my word for it, if you couldn't see it, that's what it is. And I am a poor man, so I don't have all the fancy stuff to get everything started perfectly straight. I have to use my eye and hope that my eye is good enough. And just gently start it. Well, that's not very straight. Here, let's straighten it up a bit. That looks a little bit better. A little bit more better. Oh, come on here. And then you can see it starting to cut some thread. Oh, man. It's stinking cold out here. That old steel is colder than... Well, it's colder than my hands like, I'll tell you that. I'm just going to take that drill bit out of there. so that I can swing my handle. And Tubal Cain would hate this, but you do your best with what you got, right? And I do believe, man, that's cold. I should have started the fire. It doesn't make the hands work any better than they don't work anyway. Darn things. Okay. That one will now accept a 1/4 inch bolt. Oh boy, I tell you. I gotta warm my fingers up. Oh, goodness. You know what? I got a pair of gloves over here, and they'll be cold too, but they won't be as cold as that. This is why it's the middle of January and I haven't done a blessed thing out here except for try to fix things so that it will stay warmer if and when I do start a fire again. Back it up and break the shavings off. They are tapered, the taps are, so that as it goes in further, it cuts just a little wee tiny bit deeper each turn. And you can tell by how much resistance there is whether it's still getting, there we go, now it's down to where it's basically not cutting anymore. It's just going in. So we'll take that back out of there. I'm sorry, my fingers are so cold that I can't feel them anymore. I think I'm going to go in the house and have some lunch. So I came back in the house and thawed my fingers out. I can almost feel them now. It's only been an hour or so. Anyway. And it's warmed up a bit out there. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you this. I actually put a screw in it, or a bolt in it, and you'll note that it turns in and out quite nicely, except that I can't hold on to it for some reason. Well, anyway, so you see that raises and lowers very nicely. Gravity works, and it's really just a loose fit in there anyway. This one, on the other hand, as I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, this nut in here, I'm thinking I'm going to take that nut out and replace it with one of those lock nuts with a nylon stopper to stop it from turning. Because this one I haven't done yet. The other one over here, what I did with it was I damaged the thread a little bit up in underneath where that nut is so that it won't turn, and that way it's forced to move in and out when I turn the screw in and out. That's kind of necessary so that when this is mounted solid and the screw is turned, it actually moves this whole unit forward and back. And of course, this one is self-explanatory. I haven't poked the hole in there yet. It's just a matter of taking the roller apart and finding out what size the shaft is, and then I'll drill a hole in the center here, and then I'll start putting the whole thing together. Anyway, just an update. Thought you might like that. I had to take it to the grinder and clean a little bit of stuff from drilling and tapping on the outside and on the inside. But that's okay, it worked out fine. I just put it on the little grinder. And alright, thanks for watching.
So now I guess this episode is all done and said. I would like to thank you all for visiting with Ted. If you'd like to see what's next, why not subscribe and see? It's not that hard, just click on it, it's easy as could be. Comment too, I'd like that.